Robert Williams checking in. Just came out of an alcohol coma, I see. Just in time for kickoff. See you soon, Robert. Folks, sitting in for Zach tonight. We've got DG, Dan Gambino of Code Sox with us. And we've got Matt, how do you say your last name?
Bullen.
Matt Bullen of Buffalo Shouts with us here tonight. We're setting up for a good one. Bills, Jaguars. Get your drinks ready. Get ready for kickoff. Dan, why don't you tell us a little bit about our guest tonight?
Our guest, Matt Bullen, runs the fan page Buffalo Shouts. He is a season ticket holder, and he's a season ticket holder that travels to a couple away games, Matt, I believe.
A few more than a couple. But down in Texas, I was still a season ticket holder. It was a little bit easier to go to away games. It's harder to come to home games, but living in New York now, yep, I go to. I went to all 16 last year. The year before I went to 15. I missed one. I'm going to try to continue that this year.
Look at this bum Marshawn dancing. Or Marcel.
Darius, yeah, I saw that. Matt, that's awesome, man. And I know we hooked up with you a couple games. Chris and I were out there for the Pancho at the Ezra Castro Pancho Villa Memorial, the party the night before. The game, the festivities before the game, as you actually set up right there, caddy corner, tomato, to the Red Pinto tailgate.
I do.
Correct?
I do. I've been tailgating with them since I was 9 years old, back in Lot 1, before the NFL changed up all their rules and kicked out all the awesome tailgates for all the people that can fit within 3 feet of their trunk. That's the rules now.
We are underway. Guys, I just want to let you know that this is the Trevor Lawrence-led Jacksonville Jaguars. So these aren't your daddy's Jaguars. There he is.
This kid's gonna be something special when he comes into the league. And those stats right there are pretty good for a rookie for the first 8-9 games through the season. Sky's the limit with this kid. He's got a winning attitude. Actually, all he does is win.
All right, this is where I got to do my best Zach impression. It's a double dipper drive. We've got the t-shirt drive going. Remember, any comment makes you eligible for the t-shirt drive if Well, this isn't a t-shirt drive because the Bills aren't on offense. I'm off to a bad start here doing my Zach impression.
It happens, man. Sometimes you come out of the box, you're swinging, man. You're swinging for the fences. I like it. I like your attitude. But you know what is going on, Chris? First Bills touchdown. Name the player who you wanted to score the first TD in the chat, and I think Chris let the cat out of the bag. It's going to be a triple D, double I. So make sure that you're putting in the chat who's going to score the first TD. If you get it right, you get a $25 gift card to a local restaurant of your choice.
Matt, who do you think? Who do you got for Bill's first touchdown?
I'm taking someone on the defense. I'm thinking a pick six somewhere on this defensive drive right here. Why not? Swing for the fences.
You've got the right season for defensive scores. This team's been hot. Micah Hyde's got 3 touchdowns himself.
Nice.
Jason Towell checking in. What's up, boys? Go Bills!
We got Paul Burden, we've got Andrew Zulfeld, we got Stephen Noble, we got a bunch of people. Who picked the uniform combo? Chief Homie Ty.
Yeah, buddy. Thanks for noticing. I picked out those nice uniforms. I forgot about these Jaguars two-tones.
He's talking about the Bills uniforms. I love the look with the red helmet, the blue pants. What do you think, Matt? Red helmet or white helmet?
I wish they'd bring that red helmet back more than even bringing back the old Billy Buffalo. I think I'd like the helmets back more.
I don't know. That Billy Buffalo is kind of weird looking.
All right, boys. I've got a couple more pre-show announcements here that I completely blew through as the Jaguars continue to move the ball downfield. We've got Zach's out tonight. He had other train wreck commitments, so I'm sitting in for him. We had Bills Vader on last night. We've got Matt Bowen of Buffalo Shouts on tonight. Beasley's going to be out for a few more weeks with a broken collarbone. Schwartz has been huge in Beasley's absence, though. Wait till you get a load of this kid. He was a nice little third rounder that fell to him, Matt. So for the Code Sock Drive, we're doing it a little different tonight. From now until that Code Sock Drive happens in the third quarter, share or retweet this stream and tag Code Sox along with Governor Cuomo, because as you guys all know, Governor Cuomo's missing those Bills games right now. So all you have to do is tag Code Sox, tag Governor Cuomo, and share the stream, and you're entered in the sock drive when it happens in the third quarter.
Share out on Facebook, share out on Twitter, pass over to Instagram. Let's see if we can get the governor in here, maybe to make a few comments on how excited he is for the Bills games. What was your take on that? You think he's really a Bills fan?
No way. I think he had to say that just, because he's just, telling the truth on the only team that's in New York is the Buffalo Bills. It's just the fact of the matter. He can't help. He knows he likes the Giants, but he can't help it. There's nothing that him as governor of the state of New York can do for any team that is a New Jersey team. He can't do anything. The only team he can learn.
That's a great point.
His father, though, that is a great point. It's a valid point. We all know it. We're no place but Buffalo, right? We're the only ones. Everybody had that little rug somewhere in their room or in their family where it said no place but Buffalo with a little star on Buffalo. His family does have ties to Buffalo, actually.
Do they?
Father, yep. Have ties back to Buffalo.
Trevor Lawrence is hot already. That is not a good sign.
No, it's not a good sign.
This is something you might be excited about. Josh Allen is officially leading the MVP race 10 weeks into the season.
Awesome. I would love to see him then get even a little bit of recognition. I mean, everyone's just been, for the last couple of years, just been talking about how he's going to be a bust, how he's not accurate enough, and he just carries. He can put a team on his back and just
big third down stop there by Epi Epinesa.
Huge stuff. It's hard to talk and watch this at the same time because I'm getting excited at these plays.
Hey, welcome to the stream. Welcome to the fun, man.
Hey, you don't even have to keep your shirt on for this stream. You wouldn't even be the first person or second person to lose their shirt during the stream.
Well, we've had shirts. We've had drop bottles. Had it all.
You just gotta let us know so we can turn the camera on if you're gonna jump through your table.
Oh no, I won't be able to get up.
Only rule of Hammerlot, no table dives.
Yeah, we don't do the table dives in Hammer's Lot. We stick to the rules. We're a little bit more of a mild manner crowd, believe it or not. We don't do all the festivities that happen in the mud lot.
We just stick to spraying each other down with ketchup and mustard, right?
Yeah, exactly. You know, good
Wholesome
traditions,
stuff.
good football traditions, family-friendly traditions. You know, football's family, so you got to include family in there sometime.
Please carry a condiment.
We got
Yeah.
we got an audience question for you here, Matt. Where do you guys think Josh Allen's fantasy value is at this year?
And I'm gonna let you go first. I'm gonna push this off to the guest.
Well, it depends how much you got to pay to get him, I guess. I mean, I think he's going to be a huge value this year, just because I don't think he's going to get any credit for what I think he's capable of doing, and I think this year he's just gonna. I think he's gonna come into it. I'm really hoping he just proves a lot of people wrong and just.
Anthony Schwartz checking in early.
This is the new guy right here, huh?
Look at that one-handed catch while getting interference.
Don't worry. And someone in the chat thinks you make great game day breakfast. Paul Burton. I think he's in the Red Pinto tailgate. Yeah.
Paul's a longtime friend of mine. I've known him for a very long time. He parks right across the opening, right where Kenny stands. He's right across. He's the DJ. He's the one that plays that awesome music all day long. He's responsible for the tunes.
Paul's not only one of our regulars, but
karaoke singer. If you ever get the chance to go karaoke with that man.
Paul's one of our most consistent winners here on the stream.
Nice.
Speaking of consistent winners, we got a triple D going on. Got the double dipper drive. You see it up in the right hand corner. T-shirt drive for the AR and ooh, that's a big sack in second and 9. We got the double dipper drive going on, T-shirt drive, and the gift card, $25 to the restaurant of your choice. All you have to do is put in the comments who's going to score the first Bills touchdown. Sorry to cut you off, Chris.
Oh, no worries about that. Glad to know we got that Destiny 2 update in. Haven't played that in 2 years, but it's locked and loaded. Just like Josh Allen's going to need to be on this third down here, because we need a conversion to keep the double dipper drive alive.
The only thing that's sweet on the field right now is the helmets and that uniform combination. Josh has got to get them going here. Usually we see something over the middle here. See if it sticks true.
That was definitely over the middle. About 10 yards short.
Not enough, though. Stay tuned, because that gift card's not going anywhere. Don't forget, you can always pick a defensive player. Micah Hyde, 9 interceptions for touchdowns. Trey White with 7 interceptions. So you never know.
So let's get back to this this talk of Josh Allen's fantasy ceiling or what his value is. I think the easiest context to put this in, which also leads it to my my topic of the night. What guys do you think have more fantasy value at the quarterback position than Josh Allen right now? 2, 3 guys, maybe at most, when you add in his run ability and his likelihood of scoring touchdowns
Down
inside the red zone?
It was a Maddenism right there. Sorry to cut you off. Down at the 1 after he rolls into the end zone. I'd say there's 5 people better than him.
Did he drop that one? You know,
I'd say
I
there's
don't
5.
value really, believe it or not. I'm a lot like the guy that won the Madden tournament. I don't put much value on quarterbacks. I think they get picked too early. I think there's not enough variation in points. I mean, unless you're getting the, number 1, number 2 quarterback, there's just not enough points in between. I like picking up a couple of good backs over a number 1, number 2 quarterback. I don't pick until the third or fourth round for quarterback, no matter what.
So what?
Pretty sure that what's his name I can't even think of the guy's name right now. Big Truss, Lamar Jackson.
He's number 1.
I'm sure he won a few fantasy leagues. You have to put Mahomes at number 2.
So you got Mahomes and Jackson are easily 1 and 2 for points. Wilson's got to be in the top 5.
Top 5. I put Breeze up there. They throw the ball over the place.
I would put Breeze at the next ranking because I would put Allen above Breeze because he's got the rushing stats and the rushing touchdowns. Breeze isn't going to get you that.
Hopefully he doesn't have to run as much. Hopefully
I think Josh Allen's got to be a top 5 fantasy quarterback.
Have to.
to deliver on what is expected, definitely needs to be a top 5 quarterback.
Oh, and the Bills stop him on third down to force a quick 3 and out. We're going to get some good field position here.
Tremaine had that. Thought he was just going to walk that right into the end zone.
The next question we have comes from Gary Hatashita. How much playing time do you guys think Zach Moss is going to get? Let's measure this in touches. What do you think is going to be his target number for touches per game?
I think he's going to get a half a sheet of the touches. I think he's going to get half of the touches.
I'd give him 30%, maybe 40% this year, at least in the first couple of games. How much did Frank Gore played a lot more in the beginning than Devin did, but I still think that Devin's just going to get the rock, and he's going to prove himself to be underrated, and he's going to show the coaches a lot this year, and I don't think we're going to be able to take him out as much as maybe Zach would want. But
a little quick RPO right there to Schwartz.
You got to remember, though.
Tell me about Schwartz. This is exciting.
Remember, though, Matt, like, he's on the field for pass plays, too. He's on the field for pass plays, on the field for all those running plays. They're really going to make a guy that only carried the ball. What's the maximum he carried last year? 20 carries, maybe, a game? They're going to now give him that large of a workload. I could see them thunder and lightning out.
I think.
You think 50-50?
Or maybe I'd say 60-40. It's going to be close to 50-50 at a certain point. It depends on how healthy they are. And there's a lot of things that go into that. That's a loaded question.
Ooh, that's a nice little play there to Fort Knox.
Awesome Fort Knox.
He would not have gone out of bounds on that play. I'm sorry to tell you, he would not have gone out of bounds on that.
Oh, don't worry. You're going to see more Knox. He's a beast.
Leonard Fournette's career right there.
Dawson Knox is the engine that drives this Bills offense. The number one offense in the league, by the way.
And we don't touch any of their ratings or anything like that. We're not like these other sites messing with the ratings as we go along. There's no reason to do that. We let it play out real.
To piggyback on that, we've got
undefeated, winning the Super Bowl.
We've got daddyleagues.com/NFQL that has all the stats, all the player ratings, all of the standings. It's updated on a regular basis. Actually, while they're giving this lineup here, let me give you a little peek at it. Oh, after this play, I'll bring it up. And you can track the player ratings all throughout the season, so you can follow their progression and see that's not being tweaked with. And I've started going live at the team menu, so everyone can.
A big third down.
So everybody can see the overall matchup. For today, I believe the Bills are an 83 overall, and Jacksonville is an 83 overall. But here's
big first down. Sorry to hop in there.
Oh, no problem. But here's that playoff situation right now. Bills are at the top of the AFC. Andrew Zufelt wanted a late hit on that Knox play to the sidelines. I gotta have to agree with him.
He said Yeldon is going to play a bigger role. That's a good take. And guys, just reminding you, $25 gift card. If you're not commenting, it's going to score the touchdown. Not hungry because they're in the Code Sox red zone on the 14. Going back to pass for the middle. Oh, big first down, though, to the man, Schwartz.
The man doesn't drop the rock.
But they're hurrying up. They're not wasting any time. Allen getting set. I form, the Drew form. Oh, and they always get sacked on that first play, Chris.
Yeah.
Cody Ford wants something. Asking for a legal hand to the face or something on there.
Oh, yeah. As we're seeing Singletary, we're seeing Josh Allen, Moss, we got Knox, we got Diggs. Guys, if you're watching, it doesn't matter where you are in the United States. Get a $25 gift card to a local restaurant of your choice. If you're not commenting with someone, like I said, you're not hungry. Got a second and goal.
Little pitch play.
Pitch out. Out. Okay, Singletary down to the 5. Chris, what are you calling here?
I think I got to feed the hot hand. I'd look for Schwartz on some kind of slant, or Knox on some kind of like custom route where he just finds a little pocket and sets up in there.
Knock on this potential touchdown here. Third down, third and goal. Josh Allen.
Knox and Schwartz at the bottom of the screen. Oh, he's going to run for it.
Be back.
Touchdown!
Got him. The music.
Touchdown,
where's
Josh
the-
Allen.
We got it going.
I knew it was coming. I should have had the shot song queued up on my
Have it. It's playing on the stream.
Yeah, they had the little,
Oh, it is.
yeah, the little wavy flags, the shout song.
I need to feel like I'm there.
Hey, we can sing it.
You got to find somebody to chest bump.
Yeah.
Let's take a 6-3 lead, folks.
All right, we've got 2 Allens. All right. Wait for the shout
How's
song
Matt?
to finish
Has
up here.
Matt missed any? What's his nickname? The Rocket Leg. What's his nickname?
T-Bass.
It's called T-Bass.
T-Bass.
T-Bass makes it a 7-3 game, folks. We've got two Allen winners. Is that what it was?
We have 2 Allen winners, and we're going to do my way of determining winners, seeing how I'm the host tonight instead of Zach. We do heads or tails when we have 2 winners. So, who are our winners?
JJ and John Garassi.
JJ and John Garassi. The first one to pick heads or tails gets their choice, and we're going to flip this bad boy. This is, just so we all know what I'm working with here, this is a 1965 quarter.
Woohoo, that's classic.
It has the eagle and not the bat.
John says heads.
John is called heads. Heads it is.
It is heads.
Witness?
Confirmed. Not cheating.
John calls and wins the coin toss.
All right, John Gerace, congratulations. Get in contact with Gratwick Gaming.
Actually, you're going to get in touch with Trainwreck Sports. Trainwreck Sports is handling the $25 gift cards this season. So you just won your $25 gift card thanks to Trainwreck Sports and Gratwick Gaming. Just hit them up on the Facebook page, and Zach or one of the great many people at Trainwreck Sports will hook you up with your gift card.
And Chris, I believe you guys are having an event coming up. And they're having the first Gratwick game night, which will be a Stephen King themed escape room.
Uh-oh, cue it up.
It'll be stream live this Saturday, right after the Bills Jets game. So if you want to get in on that, get in contact with Gratwick Productions, Gratwick Gaming, or Gratwick Films.
Don't forget, you can still register for our third quarter sock drive with a retweet or a share of this stream tagging Code Sox and Governor Cuomo to let them know this is where you watch your Bills football until you let us out of lockdown.
How you been holding up in quarantine?
Well, not much has changed for me. My wife's a nurse, so she goes to work every day, and believe it or not, the beer business, I guess, is an essential business. So,
Oh,
we've
yeah,
been
more than
keeping
ever.
the public filled with alcohol. So, I've been at work every day as well.
Well, thank both of you for everything you're doing. Your wife being a nurse, obviously you, sure the Bills Mafia and everyone else has their alcoholic beverage of choice.
We need to get Singletary going on this drive.
Yeah, really. It seems like they're giving 50-50 in here, and it seems like they're leaving the backfield open a lot.
Now they do a lot of single set, single back, shotgun formations.
Oh, he's got him. He's got him.
Woo!
Is that Schwartz
Diggs.
again? Oh, no, it's Diggs.
That's
He's got
Diggs.
a rare Diggs sighting.
Big.
That's
Is this
Diggs.
first pickup?
Diggs is one of the best decoys you'll ever see in this league.
They pretty much only throw him 50-50 balls.
I mean, you count the coverage. There's 3 people right there near him.
Imagine if they ran out of the tunnel with this helmet on for the Jets game. Would lose their minds.
I would. Well, thinking if I'm there, I'm hoping we're there, but you know,
Ooh.
I'm on Moss.
Yeah, use a little better.
Moss
Moss
got
met in the
mobbed.
backfield. Yeah.
We've got Matt with us from Buffalo Shouts tonight as our guest, and we've got a big week of guests coming up here, Dan. Tomorrow is Wednesday night versus the Falcons. We've got Ken Newton from Ken Newton Studios, who also happens to be the artist that did our AR shirt that we do the giveaways for with the Bills Mafia AR shirt. Thursday against the Jets, we have Nate from the Circling the Wagons podcast. And then Friday night, Dan, it's going to be a big showdown. The Bills and Broncos are on a one-way train for an AFC championship rematch, and this time it needs to be in Buffalo. So it's important they win that game Friday night. So we're bringing in Tristan, the Bills streaker, to be our guest Friday night. Pretty sure he's going to have his shirt off.
Oh yeah, man, we're gonna have to try and make him keep his pants on. Prerequisite. It's the hard part.
He came by the tailgate to do catch-up last year, I believe, or maybe the year before, but he kept his clothes on.
He's a good guy. He's a good guy. Actually, friends with the family member of his, so it's funny. And guys, make sure that you're joining the Gratwick Discord server. Join the community at discord.me/Gratwick, where you can find out about all the fun, the giveaways, Gratwick game nights. I believe that there's a Rocket League 3-on-3 tournament coming up soon.
2-on-2.
Make sure
2-on-2.
2-on-2, excuse me. 2-on-2 Rocket League Quarantine Cup, presented by Gratwick Gamings and sponsored by Code Sox. And make sure you join the Discord community at discord.me/Gratwick.
Hey, Matt, we were talking about fantasy football ratings and where you put Josh Allen. So are you a big fantasy football guy?
Last year was my first year back in fantasy football. I found it really hard to, cheer for the Bills and be at the Bills games and, give 100% to being there and then keep myself looking up in the top corner to pay attention to other teams, and, taking people out because we're playing them or not, or starting someone because we're not doing well. And as soon as I did that, I was like, wait a second.
Yeah, it ruins the Sundays.
And I wasn't doing very well anyway because I only had Bills players on any of my fantasy teams because, we were figuring out. But no, I'm just kidding.
Oh, believe me, I hear you, man. I stopped. Last year was the first time since I was in, I'd say, 7th grade, doing games by hand and having to buy a book and everybody arguing about the point system. First time since 7th grade, so that was what, 1992, I didn't play fantasy football, and honestly, it was the best football season of my life.
So, speaking of fantasy football here, some of us are missing that gambling itch and being able to win a few bucks off of our buddies. So, come season 3, we're going to start a NFQL fantasy league, and the way it's going to work is super simple. You don't have to worry about managing your roster or your team every single week. We're going to get 16 team owners, $10 a person. You're going to draft your team from the rosters, and the Daddy League's website will have all the team rosters. And included with the stats on the Daddy League site, Dan, they've got their fantasy football point totals for the week. But instead of going every single game, every single week, and tallying up the point totals, and we'll figure out whether you won this week or not, it's going to be a total point system for the entire season. The 3-week, 21-day season. At the end of each season, whoever your fantasy team is, we're going to total up the total fantasy points scored during the season by your players, and we'll give out prizes for the most points per team, and make it nice, real easy and simple to get a little fantasy football itch in there.
That sounds easy enough. Just one draft, and the draft honestly is the best part of fantasy football.
Oh,
that it and
absolutely.
Forget it. It's like an infomercial. Set it, forget it.
You know what else we're gonna have in here, Matt? If you're looking for a little gambling itch, look at Josh Allen out there running people over.
Ooh, sit down.
We're gonna have a 50-50 Super Bowl squares for season 3. The squares will be on sale all season long. 50% of the square sales we're going to donate to a charity chosen by the people that buy the squares, and then the other 50% will go to the person who wins the squares during the Super Bowl in season 3.
Oh, that sounds awesome. Who doesn't love to give back? You know what I think we should do, Chris? We should actually have the winner of the squares, whoever wins it, pick the charity that we donate to.
That's a good idea too. I like that too.
I
Devin,
think that would
Devin doing his
work
best
out great.
Moss impression, shouldering some folks.
Yeah. I gotta ask everybody a question. So Russell Wilson, 31 years old. You know, we have that game coming up to us in
Here we
Seattle,
go.
or Seattle coming. Russell Wilson, 31 years old. Josh Allen, 24. Right now, not based on what they've done in the past, not their rankings. Matt, who do you have as your starting quarterback right now?
I mean, I gotta stick. I mean, I don't know if it's biased or not, but I can't answer that question any other way than Josh Allen. I mean, I can't even call it bias. I anticipate such a huge season from him this year that if it's anything else other than, like you said earlier, a top 5 quarterback, I just feel like I'm going to be maybe a little bit let down. I think he's got an unbelievable year coming. I don't want to jinx it. I want to stay humble and I want to stay hungry, just like he is.
Matt, I'm right there with you. I've been arguing for the last 2 days on Twitter the Josh Allen versus Russell Wilson debate, and I'll give Russell Wilson all the props that he's due, but he hasn't had any playoff success since he was on his rookie deal. 2014, they lost in the Super Bowl. That was the last time he won a playoff game. Other than that, they've been one and done or worse. And he's 31 years old now. And his own team had tried to trade him for the last 2 seasons. Give me the young bull that's got... He's the most athletically talented young quarterback in the league. And the guy's attitude is not going to stop chasing after getting better and better and better. I'll take my chances with that for the next 15 years than trying to squeeze 3 or 4 more years out of a guy that is already plateaued.
Dante Culpepper a comparison for Josh Allen? Andy Moss, Dante Culpepper.
But what was Culpepper's ceiling? Two good years back to back, and in large part due to Moss.
Better than McNabb.
Yeah, but I see sustainability for Josh. Like, if it's not 5 to 10 years of him being a top 10 quarterback, or his team being a top 10 team, then I think he would have severely underperformed on his potential as of right now. Not his potential coming into the draft, but his potential as of right now based on what's already been seen, what's done, and what his character as a pro is.
Give that. I mean, the thing I like about Allen is the upside. The ceiling is still there. Did he even step out?
Yeah, he spun a little on the side there.
So the ceiling, not even near the ceiling. We're not even near the best Josh Allen that we're gonna get yet. A lot of people are saying it's this year. You gotta have. This is the year. This is the year we take it. This is the year we move forward. This is the year that we take the AFC East. The AFC East honestly isn't enough. The Bills aren't in AFC Championship game this year. I'm gonna be a little disappointed. I want one playoff win, a run. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
I want to buy. Like, I see no reason this team shouldn't have a buy. Oh, look at this! Is this Schwartz? Schwartz just took the whole team picture, threw him off his shoulder, and said there's a new guy in town.
Get off me!
Schwartz, do the music, get it going. Let's go.
It's a Schwartz coming out party. You gotta love it when
Schwartz is as big as mine. Just go, he says. Rumbling through the pile, takes it to the house. That's the new yak.
Madden invincibility mode gets triggered.
Keep up with this young gun.
Well, they got a stiff arm. 1, 2, 3 guys plowed through that. 4, 5 piling on there. It's right out the other side. Go get him, Madden.
Who?
What's T-Bass's percentage this year?
So you get him over 60.
Well,
is he 100%? I mean, you take him in the draft, you gotta figure he's gotta be a 100% kicker.
T-Bass has had a fatal McDermott flaw that has kind of stunted his first season and a half of his career. For whatever reason, our virtual McDermott has a bit of an obsession with 60-plus yard field goals.
Oh no! He must have seen his Twitter post from the other day with that 65-yarder.
Yeah, he definitely bought the social media hype.
Folks, be sure to go ahead and retweet the stream, share the Facebook stream. Whichever one, tagging code socks, codes underscore socks on Instagram and Twitter, socks on Facebook. Tag us in and tagging Governor Cuomo. Hashtag him or tag him in. Try and get him into this Madden sim because he said he was ready for some Bills football. But you could win some code socks, some Poncho Power code socks today on this stream the third quarter. So go ahead, make sure you're sharing that out. Get your friends in, have a beverage, talk some Bills football with us.
Uh-oh, Steve Noble's talking some Bills football. He's wondering if Beasely has suddenly become expendable due to this injury and Schwartz's emergence.
I mean, this kid has picked up right where he left off. He's actually played a bigger role, I think. He's done more than Diggs. Why are we talking about Beasely? What's Diggs done?
That's a good point.
Did he play special teams?
Matt, I got a question for you. So, as somebody that's gone to as many games as you have, that has been in the fabric of the Pinto tailgate, where some of the most memorable Bills tailgate moments and all of that have taken place, what's kind of like the pinnacle moment that you remember from all of those experiences?
I mean, honestly, it's every single ketchup mustard ceremony. I mean, to see someone like Kenny, who's been to 420 some odd games consecutively. I mean, just with that kind of passion for the Buffalo Bills, and to see, thousands of people surrounded around to just see him get covered in ketchup and mustard is honestly one of my favorite times about Sunday. It's almost just as memorable to me as a kickoff every Sunday. For me, it's just it's a part of it. Without one, the other one doesn't really make sense for me.
Last year, I had the privilege of going up on the van, and there's 2,000 people want to hop on top of the caravan at the parking lot. You know what I mean?
Really?
You want to get up there, man. People want to see it. I was so thankful and loved the opportunity. Obviously, we were there with Stevie Johnson last year and A.T. Montgomery of the Cold Front Report.
Did he just buzz that
We
in?
had our own thing.
Dick's starting to get some work now.
Getting little by little, they're working them in. But I was able to go up on the caravan, and it was really cool. It's a spectacle. It's you're right. It's a sea of red, white, and blue. You get a touch of the away fans in there, and it's just a good atmosphere. Now you go some of the away games, Matt. You were in Dallas with me. Right? You were in Dallas. You were in Nashville with me. In Miami with us too, right?
Yep.
We met up there. Our fans receive.
What's this check down stuff on this 2-minute drive?
Aren't Bills fans that aren't New England fans? We receive them very well.
Oh yeah.
We go to these away games and they're not as receiving.
Oh no. You definitely have to put up with a lot of. I mean, if you don't hold your temper, a lot of the times you're risking. If you got a big temper, don't go to away games. I would say that would be my.
You gotta take it, right?
You gotta take it. I mean, because if anything, you gotta think about your boys back home and how they dish it out. If anything, you're representing the Buffalo Bills. You're representing the Bills Mafia when you're out on the road. You gotta take it just how we give it. Now, like in the Pinto tailgate, don't get me wrong. That is the most receiving area for any away fans. That's why the super fans from all the other teams come there. They come there to tailgate. They're received with open arms. We're above that. We're not gonna rub someone's nose in it. We're not gonna beat up someone for being there supporting their team. The Bills can't play the Bills on Sunday. Who's gonna root for the Bills playing the Bills? It's not gonna happen. So we need the away team. I wish everyone understood it. It's just who knows? Who cares? Really?
That's the thing, though. Everybody knows when they go to the Hammerlot, you can have fun. You can be crazy. You can be yourself. You gotta be respectful to everybody else. Big
Dawson,
catch.
wide open in field goal range, but the
16,
Bills are on a
gotta hurry
timeout.
up, gotta hurry up.
Oh, what are you doing? You got to spike this.
Oh!
How are you not spiking this? Oh, what is that going to do?
That's a typical. That's a typical.
They're gonna run it into halftime with the Bills leading. All right, Chris, take them in, man.
14-3. We just decided we didn't want a 14-point lead there at the end of the half. Doug Marone and Sean McDermott are trying to out-conservative each other. Matt, I got a question for you, and like we can kind of go around the room with this one because I'd kind of honestly be interested to hear Dan's answer to it, and I've actually got a pretty interesting answer to it for myself. What's your earliest tailgate memory?
Not 9 years old when I snuck a bowling ball shot. Don't tell my mother. She knows.
You were born
That's your
for the Pinto
limitation.
tailgate.
I mean, my sisters were a big deal. I had twin sisters that, if you ask some of the older crowd, like Paul or Scotty Buddha, that they remember my sisters from back in the day. I had twin sisters that were blonde, and everyone remembers them. No one remembers the snot-nosed little brat running around, but I was there.
Oh,
Making
man.
my rounds.
So, what are your sisters up to these days?
No, they're 50 now. Jesus. They're old and married. They're Cowboys fans, actually. When we moved to Texas, they met and married and became Cowboys fans. We kind of.
Boo.
Yeah, I don't agree with it, but I wouldn't have ever married a Cowboys fan. I married a Bills fan. I met her at the tailgate, so I'm not gonna. I wouldn't got. All I ever wanted was a heartbeat and a Bills fan, so I got both of them. Everything else is just a plus.
Hot blondes in Texas. Is there any other path for them other than to be married Cowboys fans?
That's exactly. I mean, that's exactly it. They're what they grew up to want to be.
Dan,
Little did their husbands know. I mean, their husbands might know now how brown their hair is.
Dan, what do we got going on here?
We got the sock drive going on, guys. You got to share out and tweet out and streams, tagging at codes_socks on Twitter and at code socks on Facebook. You can win a pair of Poncho Power socks, living memory of our friend Ezra Castro.
Whatever platform you're on, share the stream, tag Code Socks, put the Governor in there, and you've got a chance to win on this drive if the Bills score a touchdown. Dan, what about you? What's your earliest tailgate memory?
The one I remember the most is 1991, going to the game against the Rams with my Uncle Mike. Rest in peace. Uncle Tony, rest in peace. Those were two of the biggest Bills fans that I knew growing up. Season ticket holders forever. My uncle from inception of the Bills at the Rock Pile. We used to be able to take a haul truck in. We'd always go to the Salvation Army and buy a couch that you can throw out. And a sauna the one year that they just left in the parking lot. I mean, it's not the proudest thing to say they left it there, but that's how the Bills games were. They actually probably came back and used it the next week. Yeah, I remember all that. It was just hoopla and all the food and all the fun and people taking shots and people having a good time. I just wanted to play football with my, whoever would throw me a football at that age, being 12 years old and run around. But we were coming off of Super Bowl loss. One, Rams. Never forget that game. James Lofton had a big game that game. He actually set a record in that game, I believe it was he eclipsed amount of yardage or something, James Lofton. But I'll never ever forget that tailgate. I'll never forget tailgating with my uncles. That was my father and my brothers, and that's what makes it. That's what the difference is. And it's Knox.
Dawson Knox, steamrolling folks.
Woohoo, steamrolling, guys! Make sure that you're tweeting it out, sharing it out. Share the stream. I'm going to pick a winner from the shares, either on Facebook or on Twitter. But that's family. It's family.
Oh, dude.
We don't have a college atmosphere. There's no football college atmosphere, so the Bills are our college.
For me, there was a lot of different younger experiences because for the entire 90s, our family had our extended family reunion every single year as the Bills home opener. Like I still know exactly what lamppost it was. Oh, look at
It's
this
the
run!
boss.
Look at Moss just barreling forward. I still remember what lamppost it was that my family used to have the tailgate party under every single year. My grandparents ran it and put the whole thing together.
I was there for some of them.
Yeah, and then towards when they started getting older, they had an RV and they used to park the RV next to Jim Kelly's family, and they'd tailgate and party with Jim Kelly's family before all the games. But the tailgate memory, the earliest one that I remember the most was going with my dad, and my dad teaching me how to scalp tickets. And he's like, "Yeah, you wait till like 2 minutes into the game, and then they're trying to sell them off before they head home, and you can get them for whatever." But the one time we went with it was me, a bunch of my buddies, like 5 or 6 of us from the neighborhood, and it was the Monday night game that the Bills played the Broncos, and I don't remember. I think the Broncos were like 5-0 or something like that. But we weren't able to scalp tickets because it was such a big game. And
25th year, that was just on the other day. I saw that.
and there was a mob of us all outside the gates, sitting there shaking the fences, trying to knock the fences down and get into the game. And my dad's just there leading the charge of we're coming in one way or the other. And we end up tailgating and watching the game in the parking lot the whole time. But it's just a great experience.
And there goes the sock drive, 4th and 2.
Oh,
The 3, go for it.
this could
Who's
be
where you got Deion Dawkins?
this could be a fake field goal.
Oh, the snowman. That's our guy, Matt. That's our guy.
Love that guy.
Such a fun-loving guy. And I had the opportunity to go on the field for that Miami game. As T-Bass sets up here. Good field goal. No sock drive
Nice.
winner today. Check back tomorrow. Maybe we'll have another one in the fourth quarter.
Only
Chris.
took us 6 minutes to get that free field goal we had at the end of the half.
Yeah, pretty much. I got the opportunity to go on the field, Matt, and it was really cool because I was sitting there and he knew, we talk through Instagram, and he's very, very sociable. Like, he's very out there. He tries to answer as many people as he can. He knew I was going to be there. He asked me what I had on. Of course, I was repping the Bruce Smith jersey. After they huddled up and warmed up, he came running over to the sideline, and man, I'll tell you, everybody on that sideline, Kim and Terry were 2 feet away from me. Everybody on that sideline turned. I heard the guy 2 people down from me go, "Hell is that?" It at me. For 5 seconds, people probably looked me up on Facebook or Instagram because people were all around me like, "Who's this guy that Deion just ran over to?" And then John Brown came over and slapped me up, and Singletary came over and slapped me up because we've done so much work with them and in the community that it's cool that they take time out of what they're doing, hype up.
The Jaguars have 97 yards of total offense and just lost Leonard Fournette here. 9 minutes to go in the third. This defense has just been suffocating.
Joseph said we're winning this season for sure. Guys, in the chat, let's see what your expectations are, Buffalo Bills. And Matt, we're going to come to you first. What do you think the Bills are going to finish at this year? How are the Bills going to fare? What's the final goal for the regular season? How far are they going to go?
I'm not happy unless they're going 12-4. Honestly, my son's actually come in trying to get in a cameo. He's saying goodnight to me.
You're good, man.
But I'm hoping for 12-4. Really, we need 12-4 to be in the Super Bowl to where I want to be at. It would definitely be my luck.
Another
We get to
3
the
and
Super
out.
Bowl this year, but we play amazing and we can't have fans there. I'm really worried about that.
Yeah.
I personally would love a Super Bowl because I live in Tampa. So I know I'm gonna have to tell my wife, you're going to stay with your sister, take the kids. There's gonna be about 20 dead bodies at my house. People are gonna be crawling out of the woodworks. I'm gonna put bunk beds up in my garage. She'll be here.
As the Jaguars go 3 and out again, we got another fan question from Bruze. How many times this next real year will Allen throw to Diggs, and how many catches will he have? What do you think the targets and catches are going to be, boys?
Oh. I hope the targets are in the 90s. I think the receptions could be in the 80s. Yardage over 1,200 if he goes in the 90s to the 80s. It's not far off.
123 targets, 84 catches, 1,253 yards, and 12 touchdowns. Put that in the books. It's on video.
We're ready for that one.
Came off the cuff. What do you got, Matt?
Sorry about that, guys. Daddy duty called.
Oh, no worries.
Job in my life.
That is the most important.
No
job.
worries,
You're
no
right.
worries. Can we get a Go Bills from the background?
Oh, he's upstairs now. I had to take him upstairs.
Is that
get
Schwartz
him in the-
again?
in the bathroom.
That's
Nope,
wow.
smoke.
Fives and sixes are really tripping you up. Matt, the question was how many targets Diggs get and how many catches will he have?
Like you said earlier, the decoy thing, I really think our receivers are so underrated already, John Brown and Beasly, that I just feel that Diggs is going to get double covered. I think that it's going to open up the field for everyone else. I really think that it's going to be I really think John Brown is really going to come out this year and have, think about what he did last year already. I think that Diggs is just going to take a lot more defenders. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Agree with that.
Andrew Zufeld brings up an interesting point I want to touch on. He says, having the fifth hardest schedule in the league, I would be happy with 11-5. And I agree with that, but here's how we need to start looking at the schedule and the opponents differently. There's a difference between when you know your team lacks talent and you're looking at that schedule and you're like, well, I think we can squeak a win out here. If things bounce in our favor, we can count this a win. This one's probably a loss, but I think if we're hot, we could probably get a win at home against this team. And now we got to start changing our perception of how we look at that schedule, because I think this team has one of the best rosters in the league. And I don't give a shit if you're giving me the third or fourth toughest schedule in the league. If I'm one of the best teams in the league, I'm still expected to win all of those games. And I think this is the season that Buffalo as a community and as a fan base needs to reconnect with being the front runner, the most talented team, and the team that expects to win when they step out onto the field. Not, I think our happy band of misfits can pull the upset tonight.
Right.
I'm going to touch base on that really quick. Strength of schedule, in my opinion,
Big third down conversion. This is the put away drive.
It's the biggest waste of time, and everyone could talk about it all they want. Let's break this down. England has the first. That's in Miami. San Fran, Buffalo. We play San Fran. Detroit and Atlanta are behind us. You have Arizona, Rams are in there. You have Seattle in there. We play against the NFC West. There's a reason why they have a hard schedule. Because they're playing against the AFC East.
AFC West and NFC West.
We play against the NFC and AFC West, but what I'm saying is the NFC West plays against us also. And if you look at it, 4 divisions that we play against are all in that top half, the strength of schedule. Ones in the bottom
Davis.
Are the Browns division, Browns, Baltimore, all them, Bengals, them, Pittsburgh. Play against the NFC East. NFC East had a horrible division. Let's be honest. Pittsburgh wasn't a great team last year. Browns underachieved. The Bengals underachieved. Of course they're going to have an easier schedule. It means nothing. Strength of schedule means nothing until they go out and they play their first game the following year. It's my sentiment on strength of schedule.
The Drew formation.
100%.
Ready to go.
Drew Gehring hates the I formation, so we've renamed it the Drew formation.
Matt, how do you feel about the I formation?
It's a little outdated, I feel. Defense are too stacked. They're too big in the middle. These guys are nearly 400 pounds.
You're not a big
For the
Pat
goal
DeMarco
line.
fan?
Fill up the game.
For the goal line.
It's something completely different. That's a goal line. That's a goal line offense. It's like, I guess it's still the I form, but we're back here 15 yards away. We shouldn't be doing this.
Still
All
running the I.
right, 2nd and 14. Still got that I. That's what you do out of the I. You throw the man.
There you go.
Dawson.
I think we end up, realistically, Big 11-5. You have a lot of good quarterbacks on the schedule this year. I think the Bills have made that step, that jump, get to that next plateau. I think we can win the East. Have to take care of business at home. Let's call it what it is. Bills fans at home, and you're a season ticket holder. I want to see more wins.
We have a job to do every Sunday.
Dude, give me 6 and
Every home game.
And
Fans
those
need to
watching
be there.
just now, just in case, you only cheer on defense. Please stop cheering on offense. Our offense, Josh Allen needs to hear the play. Oh, and he would not slide in for that. He would have gone.
He didn't want to get blasted for a holding call.
Before. I think we're in a great position. I think that the whole conference is in a shift and a change.
Is that Schwartz
the
again?
city's beatable. That is Schwartz again. That's a first down.
Oh, he
The
should have had
city's
another
beatable.
one.
The city's beatable.
Every team's beatable.
Dude, give me 6 and 2 at home, 5 and 3 on the road. That's all I need.
I want to buy. I want a home game in the playoffs.
Yep.
Here's the real question for you guys.
Can you imagine a home game in the playoffs? That would be the biggest thing in Buffalo. I can't even think of another thing bigger than that. When Scott Norwood missed the field goal and came home to a fan appreciation.
Here's the real question for you
Right.
guys. This team hasn't won the AFC East since the 90s. The world has completely
85.
changed since the 90s. The millennials don't even know how to celebrate a division championship. Josh, there's the touchdown standing up.
Yeah.
I'm
Josh
gonna wait
Allen touchdown.
I'm gonna wait to ask this question until after the shout song. It's too good.
Yeah, I think I can hear a shout song. I'm hearing it in my head right now. I can close my eyes and feel like I'm there.
Josh Allen, 2 rushing touchdowns today. Schwartz going off. This team's suddenly unstoppable.
I want to see this a lot during the season. Real view of one of our players crossing the goal line. Boy, sweet. Yeah, graphic up again, Chris.
I'm gonna wait till there we go. Toss the schedule up here.
Folks, next week we've got the Falcons tomorrow. Coming live tomorrow, right?
Yep, we got the Falcons tomorrow with
This
Ken
is
Newton.
Newton.
All right, so as the song's wrapping up here, I'm gonna bring my question back to the forefront.
Actually gonna do a turnover drive, Chris.
Go the sock drive
We're
up.
gonna do a turnover sock drive. Guys, in the chat, go ahead and put who's gonna make the turnover. So it's gotta be the interception or the fumble recovery, not draws the fumble. Comment in the chat who is going to get the turnover socks, Show Power sock. Who's got the power? Matt,
Okay.
who you taking?
Well, who causes the fumble?
Who recovers the fumble or interception?
Tremaine Edmonds. I think he's getting an interception.
All right.
Okay, boys.
Edmonds, we got White, we got Edmonds, we got a couple people going in the chat. Guys, go ahead and put it out there. Go ahead, Chris.
Here's the question. You know, we're all from Buffalo. We're not big world folks. We're not overly cultured. We don't know how to celebrate in the 21st century. So if the Bills win the AFC East and they win it at home, are those goalposts coming down?
Yes.
Oh my God, they're going in my living room.
Yes. The answer to that question is yes.
Yeah.
These goalposts are 100% coming down.
No way those 11 yellow jacket wearing sheriff's deputies are going to be able to hold back 63,000.
Like they're not all from Buffalo anyway and not going to want to help.
My cousin is in the picture. 1988, in the very front of that iconic picture that's etched into all of our minds. With his hands up in the air, in the front of that picture, and that's his claim to fame. He actually does have a section, that goalpost.
I just want to see the rest of the NFL fan base react like, oh, wait a minute. We can tear down goalposts when we win the division?
Oh, there goes Fournette. Oh, the big play again. Are they going to catch him?
Get now. Finally chased him down.
There you go.
But yeah, the rest of the NFL's going to lose their mind when they see us tearing goalposts down.
Yeah.
You know what's going to happen? Everybody else is going to do it.
Dave Bartles doesn't think they're ever going to come down again. I think they're going to come down one final time, Dave. One final time.
And we win the AFC East, they come down. What would make it even better be to beat the Dolphins to do it.
I just hope they don't either win it on the road or they don't win it in front of an empty stadium.
On them beating New England in New England on Monday, was it Monday Night Football or Sunday Night Football, whichever one it is, winning the division. Take that.
Big stop.
A huge stop. It brings up our next thing. Who's going to be the odd tight end out? Speaking of big stops and we're loaded at corner, who's going to be the odd tight end out? Kroom? Is it Smith? Is it Sweeney? We're not carrying 5.
No,
I mean,
I think Kroom's update is welcome. I'm not sure if he's still dating Kelly.
I was going to say, are we excluding extracurricular relationships?
Yeah, well, they paid him to stay, so there's got to be a reason why.
Well, we already know the reason why.
Yeah, we do hush money. Yeah. It's funny. Guys, the turnover drive still going on. I know it's 3rd and goal, but they're in 4-down territory. Go ahead and put it in there. Who's going to get this interception or turnover?
I'm
Down to the 1.
I'm okay with Croft sticking around, but I no longer want Croft to be the number 1 tight end at the cost of Knox's development. If you tell me that Croft is going to be our reliable veteran number 2 tight end in case of injury and for 2 tight end sets, I'm all in on Croft. If you tell me he's going to take snaps away from Knox, I'm out.
Definitely.
Agree 100%. I think Croft might be the odd man out. 4th and goal. Loud.
They don't need the money savings.
Start.
There you go.
All right, guys, you know what? That's good for the people participating at home in the sock drive. Picks them up 5 yards. They're going to have to throw now.
It's because they were all shouting in their houses. There's the interception. Is that Bubba? It's Bubba Bolden. Nobody had Bubba Bolden.
Oh my goodness! Who is that masked man? Literally.
That is our backup safety we just drafted for the preparation of Micah Hyde getting old. Let me get you his placard up on the screen here. 1 second. Come on, man.
You draft him?
Oh. I thought
Dude.
we had the same last names. I thought he might have been my 3rd cousin.
Oh, Bolden. Look at this guy. 90 speed,
90 hip power. This guy becomes a beast.
92 acceleration. Wow, that dude's gonna be big.
Yeah, dude. We
Let's go.
in our offline league, we brought the Trevor Lawrence draft in, and I suddenly realized how important hip power is in Madden. So I started looking for any safeties that had over 90 speed and 90 hip power. There was one safety in the entire freaking roster of Madden players that had it. It was this Bubba Bolden guy. So when the Trevor Lawrence draft came up again, and he was sitting there in the 2nd round, and Micah Hyde's contract was getting stale, this guy was an easy scoop up.
Guys, and we're gonna carry it over. You see it there on the screen. The sock drive's gonna carry over into this drive. Comment in the comments. The player who's going to score the touchdown, and you have to foul code socks. So if you don't foul code socks and you guess the right person, you are out. So on there and the platform in which you follow code socks. Yeah,
This-
1st and 10, Chris.
Dan, this team hasn't really... Excuse me. It's getting a little smoky here in the 4th quarter. This team hasn't really run into a challenge in like several games now.
Yeah, you know what's funny? It's almost like the Bulls. I don't think we're going to lose a game until March. The team's just been rolling everybody.
I don't mind watching it.
Oh, it'd be great, man. If you, like,
Jesus.
being a fan, went to a bunch of games. You went to all of them last year. How comfortable were you walking in to the opponent's stadium? It was more comfortable, weren't you?
No, never comfortable. Never comfortable. I want this guy. I want to be up 24-3 in the 4th quarter comfortable. That's comfortable for me. And, I mean,
I mean, going into the game. Walking in.
Oh, going into the game? Oh, after tailgating? Yeah, I'm on 100%. I'm ready to go. I've been drinking since 7 a.m. I'm ready to go at that point. But no, fourth quarter, a couple of games last year, I nearly had a heart attack. I nearly couldn't watch some of the games.
Oh, that Nashville game. I went to the Cincy game, and that was too close for comfort. The Nashville game, Houston game.
All right.
Tennessee game, close for comfort.
Here's a look at the Bills' remaining schedule in this season. They're tomorrow night with Ken Newton. They'll be playing the 1-7 Falcons. Then Thursday night with Nate from Circling the Wagons, they'll be playing the 2-6 Jets. Then week 13, Friday night, is the showdown against the 6-3 Broncos, which is the only team that's had their number since the end of last season.
Be a good game.
Then they've got the 2-6 Jets again, the 5-3 South Bills in the Panthers, the 3-5 Dolphins, and the 4-4 Saints.
Could win out.
Yeah, I think 14-2 if they stumble against the Broncos.
Wow, could you imagine?
Matt, here's the thing you really gotta like. I'm sure you're already aware of it, but every time you like stop and think about it, is really where the excitement sounds like. You sound like you might be right around our age, a little older enough to enjoy the '90s Bills, and that was that kind of. Like, you didn't see it coming. You didn't know what that was. You didn't get to experience 4 Super Bowls before, so you just, like, each moment, like, kind of happened on its own, and everybody went through it for the first time. And I feel like we're now old enough where we're at the start of that cycle again, and, like, everyone's like, what's Allen going to be? Why, da-da-da? And they're all in a hurry for Allen to be a 10-year veteran where he's the best quarterback in the league, and they already know what it is. And I'm over here, like, I'm ready to enjoy the ride this time. I'm ready to watch this young team that I know has talent from top to bottom ascend and come over those hurdles. If you want to call it the Bulls versus the Pistons earning their stripes and taking it to that next level, I'm in for the whole 10 to 15 year journey with this team. And I think so many people need to just slow down a little bit and you can't make time go faster than it is and enjoy the younger years of this team because the rest is going to be so full of high expectations that it'll never be as innocent as it is now.
Everything in this day and age is so fast. I need it now. Do you remember when web pages took 30 seconds to load the page? I mean, when it loaded from the bottom, you'd open up a picture and it would just load. Can you imagine what would happen these days if someone had to wait for something like that?
They'd lose it. They wouldn't have technology. People would have thrown it out. It would have been called the PDA, the Palm Pilot, the Palm Pre. Oh, these. I get you though, Chris. You're right. Like we grew up in the late '80s, early '90s. I was in 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th grade when the Bills went to the Super Bowls. So my youth, and my wife's from Syracuse. My son has now endured 2 full seasons that lost in the playoffs. I'm just happy I could say that.
At least they went to the playoffs, All we can really hope for is our kids have a better
touchdown, Jaguars.
Have a better upbringing than we did as Bills fans. We peaked real early. I mean, real early in our lives, we peaked real early, and it's been a hard 20 years since. But all we can hope for is that this young team takes us to a place where we deserve to be, especially as a fan base.
Steve Noble said, I'm 51 and was at the 1990 51-3 AFC smashing. I was at home and I was crying, Steve, so I was right there with you.
Hold up. Before you say anything, Dan. Steve Noble, you were at that game. We talked about this a couple days ago. The 51-3 destruction of the Raiders. At some point in there, I think it was Willie Gault. They had the ball stolen from him by Nate Odoms and ran for a touchdown. Do you remember this, Steve Noble? Somebody else tried to find this clip the other day, and it was from a completely different game. I'm specifically talking about the 51-3 game against the Raiders. Matt, do you remember this play?
I don't remember that play? I'll answer for Matt. I don't remember. Steve I don't know. I don't. I know he did it though, but I don't think it was during that game.
I could have swore that was really when the game started turning into a blowout. I can still hear Van Miller's voice peaking when he said, "He took the ball! He took the ball from him! He's going the other way!" I'm telling you, it was that game.
I used to wait on him at the Grapevine. He used to come there all the time, the Grapevine restaurant. I'll never forget that. He was a nice guy. Oh, Uncle Van, how you doing? How's it going? You know, he just talked to everybody. Great guy.
Zach Buffalo checking in. He says, "Wow, these Bills are hot. Looks like I missed a solid performance." Zach, you missed a couple solid performances here. They've been smoking folks.
Yeah, they've got the run going, the pass. The defense is playing legit, too legit to quit. The secondary is what brings everybody on. What happened there?
1 second.
Yeah, he said the current team gives the vibes of the '89 team going into '90. So they are, they are definitely striding that way. Definitely striding that way. Someone said it was versus the Raiders on a Monday Night Football game, not the championship game, Chris.
That might make sense, but because I definitely remember it was being against the Raiders at home.
Might have been during that 75th season. Raiders said they were going to Buffalo and win. Yeah, Johnny, Johnny Ribbick said that. He's 100% right. And remember, the first drive the Bills had, they had them in such confusion, not letting them change. By the third possession the Bills had, remember who the person in their secondary was. Howie Long looked at him and said, "You guys want to slow down?" Jackson ripped it out of Bo Jackson's hands.
Really? I didn't realize it was Bo Jackson.
Bo Jackson. Because we're having a little problem with the stream. We're going to come up here in a second.
All right, so for whatever reason, the screen share is not working for you guys. There's 3 minutes left in the game. I'll carry us home on the play-by-play call there with everybody. You guys can just keep talking general Bills football here. This game's a blowout. You're not missing anything exciting. Matt, tell us a little bit more about kind of Buffalo Shouts and where everybody can follow you and find you on social media.
We lost Matt's audio.
You lost Matt? Oh.
We lost his audio. Matt, go out and go back in. We'll bring you on. I'll tell him where to find you. Guys, go on to Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Buffalo Shouts. Puts out some content. He's a lifetime fan of the Buffalo Bills. If you want to find out where you can find him at all the away games, he'll be more than happy to meet up with you guys. Picture with him with his Buffalo Bills flag. Does sit up kitty corner to the Pinto tailgate, and good guy to be with, good guy to hang out with during the games. We're happy to have him on.
Yeah, hopefully we can get him in here, at least say goodbye to him. We absolutely appreciate him joining us here tonight and jumping in the play-by-play. Tomorrow night, as we've said a few times, the Bills take on the 1-7 Falcons tomorrow night. We're going to have Ken Newton of Ken Newton Studios joining us. A lot of you guys probably know Ken Newton. He does a lot of awesome Buffalo art. He's a painter. He designed the graphic image that's on the Buffalo AR t-shirts for anyone that's won the shirts. Ken is the guy that designed that shirt. So jump in tomorrow. Thursday night, we're going to have Nate from Circling the Wagons podcast against the Jets. And Friday night showdown with the Broncos, we got Tristan, the Bills streaker.
Seems like it's going to be a blazing fast time.
Well, I mean, we're gonna have to start putting in some extra time studying on our guests here to make sure we've got enough interview content if these Bills are gonna keep blowing everybody out.
100%. And you know what's crazy, Chris? I went back and looked up that game that I was telling you about that I saw, and it was 1992, the tailgating thing, just because I was curious. Everyone always gets hung up on stats, right? We want Josh Allen to throw for 300 yards. We want them to do this. All right, the Bills won that game 30-7. Thomas had 4 touchdowns in that game, all rushing. He threw 106 yards and 2 touchdowns. I apologize. Threw for 2 touchdowns. One was to Thurman, one was to Mitch Farrat. He threw for 106 yards. They won 40-7. I'll take that any day of the week.
Do you remember back in the day they used to make special cards for 3,000-yard seasons? Like Top Gun 3,000-yard club. And
100%.
1,000 yards was a big season. He had 1,000 yards rushing, and this was when they had featured backs. Like 1,000 yards now actually is a little more difficult than it was then because of so many running back by committees. But they're like feature backs that get the ball 25 times a game. Oh, will they average 66 yards in a season?
Yeah, like it's. Think about it. When we used to play fantasy football, it was the same way.
The
If you had
over
100
is not going to
yard-
be covered tonight for those gambling at home.
If you had 100 yards rushing in a game, you're the man. 300 yards passing. Oh my gosh, he went over 300. It's nothing now.
Cheap touchdown for the Jaguars is still not going to be enough to give any hope for the over.
I'm hoping Matt can hop out and hop back in. We'd love to say goodbye to him, number one, and thank you for coming on.
Yeah, absolutely. Dude, I love hearing old stories about the tailgating days, the Pinto crew. Like I remember when the Pinto tailgate was in the same lot that we used to do our family reunions. And they were like right up by the road, and everybody passing through on their way into the game would stop and do the bowling ball shots and all of that. And I remember being too young, but like all my uncles in that would hit up the bowling ball on our way into the game. And freaking, they now with all the changes, they've moved over into the Hammer lot. But yeah, they used to be in that lot directly across the street from the front.
From the dome, the practice facility.
Well, no, more the stadium, like the main.
Lot one was right on Bill's Drive, all the time.
Yeah, but back in the day, they were directly across the street from the stadium.
Oh, I gotcha. Matt hopped out, so let's see if he hops back in the feed. How much time we got left, Chris? Because I'm kind of in the dark. It's like the fog game in Chicago over here.
It's 24-17. Bills are kneeling it out. 13 seconds left. Josh Allen, 6 rushes, 49 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Matt, we got you back. Here he is. We got him. I heard a little click.
I'm back in.
Here he is.
Matt?
Not as technological savvy as I should be, probably.
Yeah, we had a little back end issues here down the stretch of this one. Not sure what happened there, but Matt, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Hey, no problem. I enjoyed it very much.
Tell everybody where they can follow you at. I'm going through that, but you can do it way better.
Buffalo Shots on Instagram, where we go to every game. I give away tickets. Every home opener, I'll be giving away tickets in Ezra's memory. He was a really good friend of mine for a really long time, before he was famous, before he had cancer. I'll be giving tickets away in his honor. We give away tickets all the time. I get extra tickets from work. I give them away to Bills fans. All you got to do is follow me and like my posts. All my posts are original artwork. I do everything. We do everything ourselves. We don't copy a lot of stuff off the internet and repost it for you. So it's a lot of original content. So on Instagram, really, but we're on Twitter too. But a lot of our stuff just goes to Instagram.
Matt, you had me at free Bills tickets.
Hey, Matt, you know what, though? I really, really appreciate everything that you do, especially the giving away the tickets in Ezra's honor. That's what he was about. He was about spreading joy of football, and he called it his family. And, I'm thankful enough that he allowed me to be a part of his life and what he's done for myself and Codes and great charities around Buffalo, Western New York. I'm happy that he's brought us together and that our friendship is now taking flight in his honor and in the love of the Bills, man. That's the best part about this.
Definitely the best part.
Jason Towell checking in, saying another great win. See you boys tomorrow. We're already ready to take on the Falcons. Let's turn his attention to next week. Matt, thank you for joining us. Dan, another great call. As Zach would say, this sim, this stream, this show, this party, this team, this city, this train never stops.